June 2nd, 2025. It is cold. I think it's like +1, maybe a bit warmer than that, but not much warmer. I've contemplated wearing gloves, but I figure I'll just switch hands as my hands get cold from holding the camera. So last time I talked about how I joined the military, went through all that experience, which was great. First week of basic training up until we got our uniforms, and then things really started happening after that. Overall, basic training was it was a good experience. I learned a lot. It wasn't really scary. I think because I was 30 years old and I'd been away from home before, that, you know, kind of set me up for just kind of doing it all again. It was like, meh, whatever. Here we are again. But it was a good learning experience. For the first month, we were confined to barracks. So what that means is we couldn't really leave. We couldn't go anywhere outside of the mega. So our weekends were spent learning how to shine boots, how to make beds, how to fold shirts, how to iron, how to do drill. Just the real basic military stuff. Now people wonder why in the military you have to shine your boots, fold your shirts, properly roll your socks, and have all your stuff neat and clean. And every morning have it all laid out for inspection. Finally, like eventually when you get a weapon, you have to lay that out on your bed as well. Why is that? Well, here's the short answer. If you can't do those things, and people can't trust you with a pair of socks, how are they going to trust you with a multi-million-dollar piece of equipment? So the first month we learned to sew and all that stuff. Eventually we earned our way out of purgatory, I guess. We were given our weekends for the most part, so we do that through learning drill, and the whole month it's like marching, learning drill, learning how to stop, learning how to lead off on the left, all that good stuff. And then after the month you have a drill test. Remember, this is all from memory. It might even be an inspection that gets us our weekends, whatever. But we have a drill test, and as a platoon we have to pass it. So we have to do all the moves perfectly. Well, you know, somewhat perfectly. Once that's done, we get our cap badge. So you get what they call cornflake. That tells everybody you can do drill. A lot of the first month too was a lot of classroom work, like history. We did first aid, a lot of practical. Started getting into field craft. Learned how to tie our boots the military way, which I still don't do. And then eventually by week, I think it was 8 or something, we got weapons. So we started learning how to take care of the C7 service rifle. We learned how to use that, and then eventually, I don't remember which week it was, we actually went to the field. The first week were spent in what we call hooches. So you learn how to basically take a ground sheet and make a shelter, and we spent pretty much the week in that. It was cold, very cold. We had fire team partners. My fire team partner was pretty cool. We got along really well. I remember one night, or one morning, I don't know, sometime, we were so exhausted. So what the staff would do is they would wake you up in the middle of the night. They would call stand to, which means the enemy's coming. Grab your shit and get onto the line to repel the enemy. So they would do that quite a bit just to keep you awake. Then they would call fire, 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 which means there's a fire, everybody get up and fight it. So they do that a lot. But the problem with that is when we actually had a real fire, one time we actually had a real fire and nobody really took it seriously except the two people that were around it. And when we realized there's actually smoke, it was all out. So nobody really reacted because we're like, oh fuck, here we go again. So yeah, the stand to thing, yeah, okay, bad guys coming. You know, it is what it is. I don't think there's going to be real bad guys. So yeah, so we had, I think it was like the middle of the night or middle of the morning or something. They called fire, fire, fire. And it was, you know, a fake alarm. It was just to get everybody out of bed. We did not. We slept through the entire thing. I remember people calling and yelling for us, wondering where the hell we were. And I woke up to that. And by the time we figured out what was going on, everybody was just coming back to bed, or going back to bed. So we're like, okay, so nothing really happened to that. The second week in the field, and that's where we did ranges. That's where we learned to shoot the C7. We went on the live range, shot our PWT 1 and 2. PWT is personal weapons test, part 1, part 2. That's where I also got top shot. I got the #1 shot at basic. I even got a trophy for it at graduation. Well, I didn't get the trophy, I just got my name on a trophy. It would have been cool to kind of get it, but because if nobody believes me, I just have to show them the picture now. But now it's immortalized in YouTube. One night when I was on fire picket duty in the building in the shacks, it was me and another, it was the two of us, and we were, you know, I think it was like 2 in the morning. We were just hanging out, talking, trying to stay awake. It's pretty tiring. They keep you sleep deprived for a reason. But we're pretty tired. Staff member walks in, and I just looked at her, and she walks up to me. She goes, "Fire, fire, fire." And I'm like, "Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, nice." And then just kind of ignored her, and she kind of got pissy, and she's like, "No, fire, fire, fire." And I'm like, "Oh, okay, cool." So I went in full chaos mode. I kicked in the door. I kicked in the door to the shack because we were just kind of in a common area. Threw on the light and told everybody, "Get the fuck up, there's a fire." And just yelling at the whole group. But it was actually pretty funny. I was super happy to do it. And then even funnier, I ran upstairs. So our sister platoon was on the top floor. There's 2 floors. They were upstairs. I ran up there and told them the same thing. I did the exact same thing. Boot fuck their door, threw on the lights, and got them all out of bed as well. Came running downstairs, and our staff was like, "No, don't wake them up. They're not a part of it." And I'm like, "Oh well, too late." So they told us to grab our rucks. So we all had to grab our rucks and all our combat gear and be out on the road. And this is, you know, 2 in the morning. And off we walked. We went for a ruck, and as we did, you could see kind of the silhouettes of our sister platoon in the window looking at us with the lights still on and everybody awake. So yeah, we walked. I don't remember how far we walked. It was quite a ways. I don't remember what time we got in at. You kind of learn just to when you're that tired and walking, you just kind of go into automatic mode and just kind of do it. So that was definitely a highlight from that time. And then the third time we were in the field, that was our scenarios. So we were in a fob that we occupied 3 weather havens, which are basically soft shelters but not hooches. Those are like ultra soft. Anyways, and we had like a perimeter, barbed wire, a tower in the middle to keep watch, all that good stuff. Had to have our combat gear at all times because we were in a war zone. Blank rounds, smoke, all that good stuff. So that was a very interesting week. So they threw scenarios at us. We would go out in sections. They're not squads. We're not Americans. We're Canadians. They're called sections, not squads. So we were out in our sections doing our thing. That week was actually pretty fun because the scenarios, you got to do some fun stuff. So an example of a scenario is we were watching the front gate. An actor would come up and just kind of, or an actor or 2 would come up, and they would tell us to get the hell out of the country, and they hate us, and blah blah blah, and you know, curse and swear at us, and we'd be like, yeah, whatever, until one of them, you know, pulls a gun, and then you shoot them like with blanks. They die, and you know, you do your thing. So scenarios like that. So one really cool scenario, which I personally greatly enjoyed. I'm gonna toot my own horn here and say that I fucking rocked it. So we came up to a village, and there was a hostage situation. So there was an aggressor with, you know, a fake gun to the head of a fake hostage. Because again, these are scenarios, it's not real stuff. But it's like, what would you do in this kind of thing? So we moved up, assessed the situation, and our leader was like, okay, Knifer, you're gonna go right. Whoever, you go left. And whoever I point at, take out the fucking gunman. Take him down. We're like, okay, cool. So I went right, I snuck through around them. They had no idea I was there. Luckily there was only like the one person, I don't know, whatever. And the other person went the other way. So I slowly snuck up quietly, right, like was pretty like within spitting distance, and then I got the signal and I just charged the person with the gun, and as I was about to tackle them, and I didn't hold back, she I didn't realize it was she, turned and looked at me and then this is where you go into slow motion, gave me this look of complete horror, like holy shit. And I smashed her down on the ground. Hostage ran away. I grabbed a gun and held it to her head, said don't fucking move, and just started cursing and swearing. And I'm like, I'm sorry, are you okay? I hope I didn't hurt you. They'll shut the fuck up. Stay on the ground. I'm so sorry. But it was a lot of fun. That person was cool. I made sure that they were all right after because I didn't hold back. Another time we were in the fob, and I was exhausted, like to the point where I could hear music in my head, like good music, like Guns N' Roses, Metallica. Like I was listening to it. I didn't have any device whatsoever to play this music, but it was playing in my head as if I was at a concert or just listening to it. It's kind of cool, but at the same time kind of scary. But another thing that the staff used to do was gas, gas, gas. So we have our gas masks, and at any point during the exercise they'd yell gas, 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 and you had 9 seconds to get your gas mask on. You're like, oh shit. So we did that a lot. It was nauseating. And then they go gas clear and you take it off, put it all away. So I was sitting in the weather haven. I remember sitting on the ground, back was to the door, and an instructor came in, and I think I was taking off my boots or something, but I remember just being like, oh man, this sucks. An instructor literally kicked in the door, wha-bam, and yelled gas, gas, gas at the top of their lungs. And I'm like, yeah, whatever. And I just slowly started, I'm like, I don't care anymore. And then all of a sudden I heard tink, 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 and this smoke grenade landed right beside me. I'm like, ah, fuck, I better hurry up. So I put the gas in on that one and got my got my gas mask on pretty quick. So we made our way out of the weather haven, looked around, only to see that all the weather havens were being smoked out. So everybody got a gas grenade in their weather haven. If there's one thing that is the worst smell in the world, it's a gas grenade. I hate it. Another incident of gas grenade, now this wasn't at basic, this was when I was in battalion. We were doing, we were training for the G7 in Huntsville. Long story short, we quelled a riot and we got into the back of the truck and somebody yelled gas, gas, gas. And they actually threw a smoke grenade. I'm like, yeah, cool, whatever, I don't care. I'm not putting on my gas mask. It's only red smoke. Until my tears started burning. I'm like, oh, somebody mixed tear gas in with that. So it sucked. I put on my gas mask. It's for a drill for a reason. It's back to basic training. So yeah, so we did our field stuff. We did that last week in the field, and then we went to grad week, which was, you know, that was a lot of fun. We won the commandant's pennant. I don't really remember what for. I just remember we had a pennant. And normally they do grad with your sister platoons, so it's 2 platoons, at least back then. This time they were doing 4 or 6 platoons. The reason why is because General Nazinchuk was coming to grad us off, which was awesome. I thought it was the perfect, complete cycle to, he swore me in, and now he's graduating me. It was great. He actually remembered who I was too. That's cool. So we graduated on a Thursday. Friday I was on a bus heading out to Meaford. Meaford is where I did my battle school. So I got on the bus the next day. It was a long day. I think we stopped even in Borden to drop some, yeah we did, we stopped in Borden to drop somebody off. It was dark. This was November. I don't remember what time it was. I just remember I got sick on the bus near the last leg of the journey, and I was throwing up in a garbage bag at the front of the bus. We got off the bus in Meaford. The only one that was there to greet us was commissionaire that gave us our rooms and our keys. But lucky for me, I was on the very next course that started Monday. So I did not have to go to any PAT platoon. I didn't have to go to any holding platoon. It was straight off basic, straight on to battle school, which I was grateful for because I didn't have to wait around. And that sucks. But I was really worried about being sick. Thankfully by Sunday morning it was gone. I was fine. So, and that takes us into battle school.